Hey guys, welcome back to the Hoops Post Up. And this time we have a topic that's near and dear to both of our hearts, especially her. You might have heard that there's a certain dynasty that might be coming to an end, the San Antonio Spurs. I know, I know, it'll be okay. You knew this time would come eventually. Um, but the Spurs, after 5 championships and 20 something years of making the playoffs every single season, looks like it might not happen this year. And we're going to talk about the reasons why. But most importantly, is it time for the Spurs to finally look ahead to the future and rebuild?
I can't believe that here at Hoops Post Up, we're actually dedicating an entire video on the San Antonio Spurs. That being said, it's not a positive one. And it's kind of painful for someone who has followed them for 45 plus years.
But it might be not just a little cathartic, but also might make you feel better if you can look forward to the future, have something to make you feel a little better about the present. All right.
Yeah, we're not used to it. We're not used to it. So it's
You
uncharted
might have to get used to
territory.
it. But we'll talk about some of the reasons, underlying reasons why, and what the Spurs maybe should do going forward.
Okay, so let's start with the positives, right? Let's talk about the good first. What is happening that is being, I don't know, I guess you would say some positive parts and aspects to our team this year? I would have to look to the younger guys, some hopeful talents that could be our future.
Yeah, it's not all bad. Like, first of all, they're not the worst team in the NBA, right? We'll not get too carried away. And this is a team
Close.
that always is good at developing young players. A draft pick for them doesn't have to be a lottery pick in order to hit. I mean, you can see what they made out of guys like Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. These guys weren't even first
Absolutely.
rounders, and they're developing talent faster than anybody else. And as long as RC Buford is there and Pop is there, there's always this chance, right? They're always a year away from
We're
being a
hopeful.
contender.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so who are the guys that you like right now, the young players that offer a glimmer of hope?
All right, so I'm going to talk about first. I'm not going to start out with my ultimate favorite out of the young guys yet,
Hmm.
but I'll talk about some positive things that I'm seeing. I would go with Bryn Forbes, right? Our shooter. I like what I see, and I think that he is a player that could continue to develop.
Okay, Bryn Forbes, strong defensive player, and he's shooting pretty well. He can definitely hit the three, a D and three guy. He can also play the point, right? So pretty solid. Not going to be a superstar. Not
No,
really. The ceiling isn't there to be an all-star player, but he's proven to be pretty solid and a guy you didn't have a big investment in initially.
no. And like I said, we're starting off slow, trying
Hmm.
to find the positives, trying to
Okay.
find the diamonds in the rough, right? Okay, so second, I would talk about DeJounte, right? DeJounte is supposed to be like our lead point. He's supposed to be our future. So I'm still trying to stay positive with his playing time. They're managing his minutes, but is he in the groove, out of the groove? Is he off? I don't see, he's not being very consistent. And I don't know if it's because of those minutes that he's not getting that playing time that he would normally if he was fully healed. But I don't know if I'm seeing like how my Tony started. And will he develop to that level or caliber
Well,
of
here's what's
player?
weird is that we knew about the minutes restriction, right? Obviously, missing an entire season. There's no reason to force him into action, extended action that much. But just the other day, and Pop was asked, of course, he didn't just come out with this. He doesn't come out with information unless he's really pried. But um, they asked something about the minutes limit, like, is it going to be lifted? And he said something like, oh, as far as I'm concerned, it is. So basically saying, like, that's it. The cap is off and the training wheels are off and he's good to go. And then what happened tonight? He played like 16
He's
minutes.
only played a few.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if it popped just messing with us again or if it was just a matter of game flow. I don't know. But the point is that Murray, I think, is going to continue to be inconsistent this whole year, but we know that there's a bright future. This
There's
is somebody,
the potential
the
is there.
potential, yeah. We can't say again that he's necessarily going to be to that level of player of Tony Parker, but
Don't know if that can happen.
it's the potential's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And what else?
So next, I want to talk about my favorite young player, Lonnie Walker, finally getting some playing time, finally getting some steps on the court. Thank God.
You know he's my favorite player for obvious reasons. Went to the U. It's all about the U. But besides that, I mean, he's a beast, right? You know, he's a beast. Anybody who watched at all the
So
Summer League,
athletic.
one of the
Oh
leading
my
scorers, and he's always been, he was a top recruit coming out of high school. Of course, only stayed for 1 year in college. Wish he would have stayed longer. But this is a guy where sky's the limit. I mean, he does have all-star potential.
He definitely does. I can't wait to see what he does for us because oh my gosh, just seeing the little bits that we are able to see, his impact on our game, when he puts his foot on the court, he changes the game completely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. His athleticism, his aggressiveness on both sides of the court, I love what I see. I love.
And I think that's the one thing we kept asking, well, where has this been all year? Why hasn't he been playing?
Everybody's been asking for Lonnie.
And
Come
it's
on.
exactly what you said. What his strongest suit is exactly what Pop doesn't like. His aggressiveness.
No.
He doesn't want you to take a shot if it's anything more than 5 seconds on the shot clock. He doesn't want you to push the pace too much. He wants to control the flow. He wants to run the same plays, right? He doesn't want it out of control running gun. He doesn't even want you to fast break too much if you can help it, right? So Lonnie Walker's game maybe doesn't quite fit with the system.
And we've seen that, right? We've seen some really talented players that we develop, and they can do so much for us. And yet, with our system, with Pop's system, they don't seem to do as well. And then they leave us, and they're amazing. They're amazing for their teams, and they're doing well. And so you kind of wonder. And I've been telling him and my family, we've been talking about it. Like, is Pop's time up? Like, should he
Only
retire?
Pop can decide.
Should he let the game go? Like, I just don't know if he has put his mind to where it needs to be in this new game of the NBA.
Maybe a little set in his ways. He's definitely known to be a bit stubborn, if nothing else. That might be a good segue to the bad, right?
Yes.
Now, what prompted this finally? Not that they all of a sudden just had a losing record. It's been a while. We know about that losing streak. Was it 8 games in a row?
Yeah.
7 games in a row?
No, it was 8.
So they finally had to beat the Knicks.
Yes.
That's not a crowning achievement.
Oh
They had probably anybody else in the schedule.
We were celebrating that so much. It
Yeah.
was just strange to me.
This might be even worse. So tonight, played the Cleveland Cavaliers.
They were like, what,
lost.
5-14, and now they're 6-14. Now they're 6 because they beat
the Spurs. Yeah,
They beat us.
And
not by
by
1 or 2 points.
Yeah, I think it was 117, 109. But the Cleveland Cavaliers were up throughout the game. Like, they didn't just pull a comeback in the fourth quarter. They were up by double digits.
And so what am I thinking? Let's take a look. Who's not playing? Is someone not playing? Like, is there a reason why? Did we bench like half our starters?
Did they rest everybody?
Did we rest everyone
No.
because we knew it was Cleveland?
No. Not at all.
Looking back at our stats, right? Looking back at the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, check the box score and you'll see.
DeMar, 39 minutes. 39 minutes. And I think he had 21 points. L.A., LaMarcus, he had 39 minutes. You think 39 points? No. He had, I think, 18 points. I know. Wait. Yes, 18 points. 18 points. 18?
Those are your and then
those are your superstars, right?
And those
are our lead players.
Both at a minus 12. Okay. All right. So you could say, well, maybe it's not just they need other guys around him. Well, who else is carrying the load? Like I said, DeJounte Murray didn't even play that much. Don't know why. Lonnie Walker finally getting some minutes. That's the only good thing I can say out of this game. Played 24 minutes, 10 points.
He got 10 points, but what do you expect? Gosh,
but the
give him
isn't
some more
running
playing
through
time.
him.
No,
You know what I mean?
They're not. And I don't know. I'm looking at our players. Why did Bryn not do anything? Okay, we have Rudy Gay, 21 minutes, he had 9 points. Not consistent enough. I don't know what's going on. They say they're fighting through this. They say they're wanting to win and they're trying to be competitive. It's not consistent enough for me. I don't know what's going on.
That's the worst part, is that they actually are trying. Now, we did talk about this. We'll get to the roster in a second. We're going to go through each position and kind of try to analyze what can we do, what can they do about this. So here's the main issue. The Spurs are actually not doing too badly on offense. They're ranked right now 13th offensively in terms of points per game.
That's insane to me, because when you look at our record, how is that possible? But we all know. In the NBA, what do we say? Defense. You have to play both ends of the court to be in that top tier
and
team.
That's the problem. It's not so much the obvious. You think with the Spurs, you think it'd be offense. No, they're actually 13th. They are 23rd in defense.
Isn't this like the third year in a row that we are horrible with defense? Third year in a row.
And
Bruce, come back. Bruce.
Don't think it's going to change anytime soon. Now, we did talk about this in our recent trade machine, and we highlighted DeMar DeRozan. Not to put all the blame on one person, but you mentioned it's been a couple years now, and there's a certain player that's been missing for a couple years that was pretty good defensively, and then instead they have DeMar DeRozan, who definitely has a negative defensive rating. So here's the problem. DeRozan is still there. Maybe they'll trade him. Maybe they won't. If you want details on that, what they could get back in exchange, check out our Trade Machine episode, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
But there's nobody else who's helping out.
I'm ready to take that Aaron Gordon.
You like Aaron Gordon?
Yeah. I saw him light up tonight. It was
amazing.
Yeah,
he had a very nice dunk.
Yeah. He did.
But anyways, there's no other guy. There's no rim protector. We've talked about needing a guy to block some shots. We've talked about somebody having a shutdown perimeter defender. They don't have Danny Green anymore. Obviously not Kawhi.
No.
The help has to come from somewhere.
We're definitely missing some pieces. And, there is passion on the court when you see Patty come in off the bench. You see Lonnie coming in. You see that passion. But other than that, our leaders, LaMarcus and DeMar, who are supposed to be those superstars who are leading their team, I don't see it. I don't see it. And I'm done. I'm done.
Done.
Yes. Get rid of them. Let's start. We're talking about rebuilding. Do you think it's time for us to rebuild? I'm ready to rebuild. Yes, it's going to be painful. It is. But this is painful. This is painful. When we got 2 players on our team. Okay, I think DeMar, no, I know. He's making like $28 million. Are you kidding me for his salary? Like, ditch it. Ditch it. It's not getting us anywhere. I'm ready to start over.
So you're ready to blow it up.
Start.
Are you waiting until after the season? Like, try your hardest.
No.
Try like hell and try to make the playoffs.
Now.
At least get that.
Do it now.
Just don't even wait.
Trade what you can. Get what you can for those players and say goodbye. And
by February.
It's hard. It's hard because LaMarcus, we've got our Texas connection, his family, everything's here.
He can.
I'm sure people in Toronto would love DeRozan back.
Well, there you go.
And I wanted it to work. I really did.
I like DeRozan. Again, repeat what we said in the other episode. Nothing against DeRozan.
Nothing wrong with their character.
Good
These
player.
are upstanding guys. Love
this
LaMarcus.
system is it's not working.
It's not personal. But I'm wanting something that is going to take us to that level that we're used to being at. And being here at the bottom for, I don't know who's watching us out there, but for some of your teams who haven't done well in a while.
And that's the thing is, talk about, the Spurs need to rebuild. Pretty much nobody in the NBA feels bad for the Spurs. They're winning how many times, year after year, and always in the playoffs. You got people in Sacramento saying,
we have fans all around the world. Come on. We got fans in Australia. Shout out to Australia, France.
They're a global team.
Yes, they
known
are.
For being a global team.
Brazilian fans.
Even some of that's gone now too. You can still have some, of course, Patty Mills, But a lot of the French connection is gone with Parker. Ginobili's gone. He was the main one.
In Argentina.
So even that is disappearing. So it's definitely a different era. Time for the Spurs to rebuild and blow it up. She says yes.
I say yes.
What do you guys
Tell,
think?
tell me, what is the ugliest part now? What's the ugliest part? No defense. I say that's the ugliest part.
Well, here's the ugly is they're still stuck with DeRozan and Aldridge. DeRozan is just for this year. The bad thing is it could last because Aldridge's still under contract for another year. DeRozan has a player option. So he could stay.
Yeah.
We're saying, okay, he wants to go here, there, whatever. He might not get what he wants, and he could say, I'm going to keep the money. I'll stay where I'm at. It might be the exact same thing for another year. That's the ugly, is that this might not change. Ugly. He's not going anywhere. He's not ready to retire. You can tell. He wants to go out on his terms, and I don't think he's ready. So ugly.
You really don't think Pop's ready? I see him pulling back. I don't see that passion. No. I don't see that aggressive nature that he's jumping off.
No, but I'm saying he's still going to be there.
I know he's going to be there, but I think he's fading. And thank goodness Timmy is there. Thank goodness Becky is there. Seriously, we need you. So thank goodness you're on the sidelines for us.
But the fact is that they're not going to get a top 5 pick, right? They're not going to finish that badly. They're not a team that's going to tank unless they do trade everybody and rebuild, which I don't see it happening. So to me, the ugliest part is that it's going to happen this year where they're going to miss the playoffs and they're going to get maybe a very low lottery pick, a guy like a project to work with, and then it's going to be like this for another year. That's what I think. And then they're going to blow it up. But
I say blow it up now. Tell us what you think. Any of my Spurs fans out there feeling my pain? Share with us. Comment below. Talk to me about what you think we should do.
Talk her down the ledge.
Yes.
Because it's a rough year.
What trade should we do? Who should we, come on. It's got to get better than this. This really doesn't feel good.
There is some hope, though. Let's full circle here. Back to the good. Lonnie Walker is a stud in waiting, right? We know that he just needs the time, the playing time. He's getting some playing time. That was nice to see, 24 minutes tonight. So at least he's getting on the court. Derek White has a lot of potential. DeJounte Murray, again, once he's full strength next year, could take that step forward. So there is some hope. And you know what? If they do trade one of those or both of those guys, they can get younger and they can move on. Who knows? Maybe they even signed a free agent.
That's true.
Didn't get to do that last year.
No.
So there's always
and I have to say, shout out to Jakob, who's getting out there, being aggressive, getting those blocks. We're watching. We see you. That at least makes us feel a little bit better about what happened to us.
He's all right. He's doing all right. He's not the problem. He's not the solution, but he's not the problem. So.
All right.
Well, thanks for listening to our rant about the Spurs. Again, what do you think? Time to rebuild? Rebuild now? Rebuild after the year? Or try to hold on, cling to the success of the past?
And our Spurs fans out there, if you want to continue to see us put out content on the San Antonio Spurs, comment, subscribe, follow us on social media, and tell us what you want to see. I'm always willing to talk about my Spurs.
The fans always have the answers, right? You guys somebody out there has the answer.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Peace and love. Go Spurs, go!
Go Spurs. You had to get that in.